I am live. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It is your host, Rebound, and I'm back at it again for another video. I see that we have Millennial in the house. Let me know if you can hear me fine. Do I sound like a chipmunk? Hopefully, I do not sound like a chipmunk. And for those of you who are celebrating the holidays, happy holidays, right? Now's the time where it looks like the season to be jolly, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait to see if the sound quality is good. And then if it is, then we'll go ahead and start the show. And then hopefully everyone is doing well on this Thursday afternoon, maybe evening for some of you. So I think, let's see here. All right, just waiting for you all. Decided to pop up today randomly. I never really come on this early, but I felt that I ran into a decent content creator, and I decided to share her content with the channel. So let's just see if you can hear me. Just let me know. I see there's a few of you here, so I'll just wait for the green light, and then we'll get this show started. Maybe you can't hear me. I'm not sure yet. We will find out. Okay, so let me just type it in, even though I can reach the keyboard. It's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, and then once I get the green light, we'll go ahead and get the show started once again. I know I'm repeating myself, but you all may not be able to hear me. Let me just take a sip of coffee, which I should not be drinking, by the way, but it is raining here in LA. And so I just figured, okay, let me just start with oh, wait, is this plugged in? No, I hear myself. I think I'm good. Okay. Just wait for a few of you all to show up, and then I will get the show started. So for those of you listening, just let me know if you can hear me fine. If you can, then, oh, and I spelled here wrong. Oh, man. Come on. Help Mr. Rebound out. I need to know if you can hear. Let me just type here then. All right. Maybe not. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just waiting for you all. Yes. Thank you, First Roxy. The first Roxy. I needed it. I was kind of nervous. StreamYard has been glitching out these days. So, but yeah. Okay. So we are 3 minutes and about 30 seconds into the show. So, welcome to those of you who are listening. I believe that we'll be on here a while, right? Just depending on my energy level. So pretty much here on the channel, our core focus is narcissism. And the angle that I wanted to take the direction of the channel was to educate the viewer and allow the viewer to understand that what they're going through is spiritual warfare, right? So when you understand that we are all energetic beings, we're spiritual beings, right? We have God's chosen down here, and then we also have the demonic realm. A lot of us who are of God, we come down here and we have such a horrendous time. And it's almost as if our memory is swiped once we get here. And so, a lot of us will grow up in dysfunctional families. A lot of us will be, date people who are abusive. A lot of us will enter into the workplace and be devalued into the school systems and be gaslit, and our abilities will always be dismissed. It's almost as if our whole reality is dismissed. And a lot of us, since we were traumatized from early on, what will happen is our self-esteem will be lowered, and we'll go through society holding on to this pain and trauma, and this negative energetic field is going to attract these demons in our direction. And so, you know, prior to myself waking up to narcissistic personality disorder, I was trying to figure out, okay, what is going on? Why do I keep having these same negative experiences everywhere I go? And shortly but surely, I discovered what the disorder was. Say hi in the chat if you can hear me. Uh, I discovered something wasn't right. And so as I stumbled across narcissism, I went ahead and I, kept educating myself on the particular disorder. And this is when I had gang stalking happen and occur in my life. And so I found a content creator who has had a similar experience to that of myself. And so I wanted to go ahead and share her work on the channel because I feel that it is highly important. So for those of you who just joined, I know Roxy said that she can hear me, but for those of you who just joined, just let me know if you can hear me and we'll keep the show going. Okay, let's see here. All right. So, and I guess what, is really important is, for people to see the spiritual side. And I do believe for a lot of us, you know, it's a harsh reality to wake up to. And so the world will gaslight you and make you think that you're crazy or delusional. And this is how you stay in the abuse if you choose to believe those individuals. So, you know what? I'm just going to take Roxy's word for it. And I think that we're just going to go ahead and share the content. Now, what we'll do is I'll probably listen to a few of her videos because she really understands it. What she's saying really resonates with me. And I guess we'll go ahead and do an after show depending on how many people show up. But since StreamYard is paid for this month, I guess there's no rush. All right, so let's see here. And Roxy, are you new to the channel? Are you new to the channel? I don't think I've seen you before, but hopefully all is well with you. Early 30s when I woke up. Yes. So yeah, I woke up. I want to start saying that I studied, found out about the disorder. I think I was 29. And I remember purchasing a book and I just needed time to like read it. So I took some time off of work and because I knew that this was going to be very serious. And I read it and I was like, wow, this is serious, right? So let's see here. So what I'm going to do is wait, let's see here. So let me see. Woke up. Okay, so so you're saying you're not new to the channel. Okay. So what I'm going to do is share the content. Now, the audio quality may not be great from YouTube. So what I'm going to do is plug my phone into the speaker and have my mic pick it up. And hopefully that will work. But let's go ahead and share screen. All right. And I guess what we'll do is we'll pause between each videos because I think I want to show like at least 2 or 3 because she's good. She's good. And let me just go ahead and share her channel. So this is her channel. Adriana Teles. I don't know how to pronounce it, but she's great. And what she does look younger. So I believe she's in her 20s and it's just an amazing thing that she's woken up, right? I wish I would have woken up at 20. So she has a few chosen ones, targeted individuals, gang stalking, yes, stalked for awakening, and then chosen ones have been targeted since birth. I'm going to play this one first. And so what I'll do is I'll share, I'll go ahead and play it, but I'm also going to be using my phone as well. So that her voice may not be, or the visuals may not be matching up exactly with the audio, but we'll go from there. Let's see here. Let me fix that and then go here. Bring that here and stop it. Let me check this settings here. I'm going to put it at 1.75. If it's too fast, we will we will go ahead and Stop it. So let me go ahead and get my phone. All right, let me try to play it at the same time. So let me just check to see if it's the same video. Yes, it is. Okay, so here we go. Let me go here.
Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I want to talk about how us chosen ones have been targeted individuals since birth. Now, this topic is going to be very serious. So us chosen ones came from very dysfunctional, toxic, and very abusive.
Let me know if you all can hear it.
Our upbringing was very dysfunctional and chaotic, and there was a lot of generational trauma happening when we were subjected to having to live with our certain caregivers or people who were held responsible over us. So as a chosen one, I've had my share of narcissists, and dealing with a covert narcissistic mother and an overt narcissistic father was one of the first spiritual warfare battles that I experienced in my life. That is spiritual warfare, psychologically and mentally, and physically it takes a toll on you immensely. And so I tolerated narcissistic abuse for about 20 years. From that time period, the school system also was meant to suppress and oppress my spiritual gifts at an early age. The educational system was meant to program every person in that school to be a certain way and to blend in. And I always stood out. Ever since I was little, I've always standed out, and I've never quite fit in anywhere I would go at an early age. I just was very creative in the way that I thought. I had this very open mind when I was little, and I always wanted to create and draw and very artistic, and I loved to research about animals, especially. I love animals, and I love to take care of them, and I was very empathetic and highly sensitive, and I wanted to rescue these beautiful creatures like cats and dogs whenever I would see them outside with no food or shelter. I wanted to feed them and give them little beds and take care of them, because to me, it comforted me knowing that I was able to help someone or an animal. It made me feel it was just my nature. It was just my caring nature that I've always had. And it's not true when people say that people will treat you the way that you treat them. It is not true. I've always
it's echoing. One
been
second,
caring,
you all.
and that's my nature. And no one has been able to
One
take
second.
that.
I believe maybe I have the mic too close. Let's see here. Let me just pause this for a second.
And no one will ever be able to change certain parts of me, like my empathetic nature, my caring nature.
Okay, so let me go ahead and pause now. She does have background music on. So let's see here. Now, is the sound quality horrible? Let's see. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll share from YouTube and then see if that's fine. Let's see here. I don't know if you all be able to hear it though. Let's see. Okay, let me know if you can hear that.
Certain parts like that. So when I would go to school, I would honestly get targeted and ostracized, pulled apart. I talked a lot. I was very talkative. I loved to talk and very energetic, and I always had so much energy, and I was just full of energy and stuff. And at an early age, the teachers would try to suppress it and try to make me be more calmer and try to change certain parts of me. And they would say that it was wrong, that I had too much energy, that I had ADD, attention deficit disorder, and I couldn't pay attention, and it would never stay still. And then, since I loved to talk, I would talk a lot, and the teacher pulled me apart and would even put the desk all the way in front near her and separate me, and everybody in the class would mock me and ostracize me just because I was very talkative and very highly sensitive and just full of energy. I was set apart in the class.
Okay, one second, you all. So let me just pause this 1 second. I know the sound quality on her video is low. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just pull my mic away because you all said that you hear echoing. So let me just go ahead and try this again from my phone. Let's get the time around the same 5:32. Okay, so let's try this again. I'll close that.
Happened, and it makes me realize now that I look back that everything was meant to suppress and oppress my spiritual gifts and keep them hidden from me, so I wouldn't be able to discover the true power that I had since I was little. And as chosen ones, many of us were born with very spiritual gifts, and we were born with being very loving and caring and altruistic individuals who care about the world and care about others. And we have a very pure heart, and we love to heal and serve the world, and we have good intentions, and we do right. So then that happened, and I transitioned into middle school. From there, the spiritual warfare got intense. I was a targeted individual. Everybody would look at me as if I was weird and different, and I was a loner. I spent a lot of my time just by myself, and even when I would try to be around groups, they would always laugh at me, tear me down, mock me, and make fun of me for being the way that I was. And it was just really bad. I remember there were certain situations
Let me
where
pause it for a second. I just want to.
the one who was being targeted.
Okay. So it looks like she has background music in the video, which is kind of like that could be the echo. But yeah, it's this vibration type of music in the background. So that's maybe what you all are hearing. But if it's too distorted, then we'll stop it. But let me just go ahead and continue, and then we'll go from there. Let me see here.
Being the joke of everyone else. And even teachers would participate in this type of behavior, and it makes me ponder and think, why would they allow certain things to happen to me, and they wouldn't stand up for what was right, and they would disregard what was happening to me, but yet someone else had the same problem as me, and they were willing to extend their hand and help them. But when it came to me, it was as if I didn't matter, and it was in their agenda to treat me poorly because of the system that was meant to keep me under their control and from not being able to realize.
Okay, so I'll start it over since you guys want to
different and powerful. And
let's start from the beginning.
And so then that happened.
So
After middle school was over. Oh, during middle school, I also had this encounter with this narcissistic person who would.
Okay, so pretty much here, she's talking about being a targeted individual since birth. And so what she's going to do is just kind of list out how this whole matrix system has tried to keep her away from understanding her true nature and her spiritual gifts. So what we'll do is we'll start it over since there's a few of you who joined, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and start.
Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I want to talk about how us chosen ones have been targeted individuals since birth. Now, this topic is going to be very serious. So us chosen ones came from very dysfunctional, toxic, and very abusive homes that we were raised in. Our upbringing was very dysfunctional and chaotic, and there was a lot of generational trauma happening when we were subjected to having to live with our certain caregivers or people who were held responsible over us. So as a chosen one, I've had my share of narcissists, and dealing with a covert narcissistic mother and a overt narcissistic father was one of the first spiritual warfare battles that I experienced in my life. That is spiritual warfare, psychologically and mentally, and physically. It takes a toll on you immensely. And so I tolerated narcissistic abuse for about 20 years. From that time period, the school system also was meant to suppress and oppress my spiritual gifts at an early age. The educational system was meant to program every person in that school to be a certain way and blend in. And I always stood out. Ever since I was little, I've always standed out, and I've never quite fit in anywhere I would go at an early age. I just was very creative in the way that I thought. I had this very open mind when I was little, and I always wanted to create and draw and very artistic, and I loved to research about animals, especially. I love animals, and I love to take care of them. And I was very empathetic and highly sensitive, and I wanted to rescue these beautiful creatures like cats and dogs. Whenever I would see them outside with no food or shelter, I wanted to feed them and give them little beds and take care of them, because to me, it comforted me knowing that I was able to help someone or an animal. It made me feel it was just my nature. It was just my caring nature that I've always had. And it's not true when people say that people will treat you the way that you treat them. It is not true. I've always been caring, and that's my nature. And no one has been able to take that certain personality trait that I have away from me, because that is just who I am. And it's not going to ever change. And no one will ever be able to change certain parts of me, like my empathetic nature, my caring nature, so certain parts like that. So when I would go to school, I would honestly get targeted and ostracized, pulled apart. I talked a lot. I was very talkative. I love to talk. I'm very energetic, and I always had so much energy, and I was just full of energy and stuff. And at an early age, the teachers would try to suppress it and try to make me be more calmer and try to change certain parts of me. And they would say that it was wrong, that I had too much energy, that I had ADD, attention deficit disorder, and I couldn't pay attention. I would never stay still. And then since I loved to talk, I would talk a lot, and the teacher pulled me apart and would even put the desk all the way in front near her and separate me, and everybody in the class would mock me and ostracize me just because I was very talkative and very highly sensitive and just full of energy. I was set apart in the class and made to feel as if something was wrong with me just because I had those certain qualities in me. And so that happened, and it makes me realize now that I look back that everything was meant to suppress and oppress my spiritual gifts and keep them hidden from me so I wouldn't be able to discover the true power that I had since I was little. And as chosen ones, many of us were born with very spiritual gifts, and we were born with being very loving and caring and altruistic individuals who care about the world and care about others. And we have a very pure heart, and we love to heal and serve the world, and we have good intentions, and we do right. So then that happened, and I transitioned into middle school. From there, the spiritual warfare got intense. I was a targeted individual. Everybody would look at me as if I was weird and different, and I was a loner. I spent a lot of my time just by myself, and even when I would try to be around groups, they would always laugh at me, tear me down, mock me, and make fun of me for being the way that I was. And it was just really bad. I remember there were certain situations where I was the one who was being targeted to be the joke of everyone else. And even teachers would participate in this type of behavior, and it makes me ponder and think, why would they allow certain things to happen to me, and they wouldn't stand up for what was right, and they would disregard what was happening to me, but yet someone else had the same problem as me, and they were willing to extend their hand and help them. But when it came to me, it was as if I didn't matter, and it was in their agenda to treat me poorly because of the system that was meant to keep me under their control, and from not being able to realize the power within that I had that made me extremely different and powerful and set apart. And so then that happened after the middle school was over. During middle school, I also had this encounter with this narcissistic person who would tear me down and treat me very bad. And yet I still had to go home to another narcissist. So it was twice the trauma at school, and then going home and dealing with another narcissist. So you can imagine the toll that it took over my psychological, mental health and well-being, physical well-being. So then after middle school, I moved on to high school, and that is when the attack was intensified. It was something that felt that like I was trapped and there was no way out of being in those 4 years of literally mental health. So during those times, a lot of things took place, and even teachers would participate in mocking and laughing at me and making jokes about me to the class to make me feel as if I was a nobody and I was unworthy and very unprivileged just for being who I was. And so as everything happened, I start to think of how everything was meant to be systematically that way for a purpose, to keep me stuck and trapped. And from trying to keep that label on me that I was never going to amount to anything, that I was going to be what they labeled me as, and that was going to be my permanent identity, and they were going to dictate my destiny and whatever was going to happen in my life. Until high school, the attacks got real. Even high schoolers would insult me, and they would take time out of their day to just make me feel bad about myself and point out my flaws. And I never quite understood why I always overlooked everybody's flaws, and I always practiced acceptance towards people, but yet any tiny flaw that they would pick out about me, they wanted to just point it out and make it seem as if I was the worst and such a bad human being. But yet I always was willing to help them and be there for them, even when they treated me very bad. And so that happened, and I also, senior year was the worst. I fell into the biggest depression you can ever imagine. And after that, things started to become a little bit less heavy, but I still dealt with the narcissistic mother that I have. And I moved on to college, and things got a little bit better. I escaped that toxic, abusive household, and I escaped out of it, and I found refuge with another toxic person, but it was the only route of my escape. And so then from there, I finally decided to find my own path and design my own life, and I moved out to live independently. And ever since that has happened, I went through my spiritual awakening, and I was able to see gang stalking, having neighbors continuously stalk me and keep up with me and listen to everything that I say and live through me, because a lot of these demonic entities and people, they live through us chosen ones. They are addicted to our energy, and they are addicted to who we are, but yet they hate us and they envy us, but they resist to let us go, and they want to continue to be a part of our journey, even if it means that they have to be on the outside looking in. Behind the closed door, they still find time of their day to listen and eavesdrop, just because they believe that we are their entertainment, and we help them find comfort in their pain and their misery. So they want to attach their negative energy and their negative vibration onto us. And so as that happened, I moved out independently, and I started to see cars driving around and around every time I walked out of my door. And I would go places. There was always a bunch of cars just circling around, and there was a pattern in the color: silver, dark silver, white, red, and it was just a color of a pattern of cars that would just go in circles and circles. And then they would gang stalk me. And at first I felt anxious and very paranoid because I didn't understand what was going on, and I felt trapped, as if there was no way out. But as time continued, I started to realize what was actually really going on, and it was because of how powerful my spirit was and how strong my anointing was that God gave me ever since birth, that irritated a lot of people's demons and caused them to lash out and act in very harmful ways towards me. And I realized that chosen ones experience that. They experience a lot of rejection, a lot of betrayal, a lot of abuse, and very harsh treatment towards the world. But yet, chosen ones still remain true to themselves, and regardless of how much people try to twist the truth about them and try to put labels on them, chosen ones break out of that box, and they show the world who they truly are, and they have no problem and no fear with continuing to demonstrate that they are who they are, and that no one will ever take that away from them or take their identity and what belongs to them, their human rights, to be free, to have a mind of their own, and to live the life however they want to live their life. And it all makes sense now. The whole purpose was designed to destroy and to keep us chosen ones from ever reaching our full potential and our God-given right. And being chosen was also because the whole system is designed to be demonic. And there's a lot of low vibrational people now. As chosen ones, we wake up and we see how negative and how much people are full of deception and lies, and they aren't really being who they truly are, and they're just putting up a facade, a fake image, to try to gain acceptance from a society that is meant to destruct and destroy them and keep them away from actually realizing that they have the power to become who they were meant to be, and not just a copy and paste image of everyone else. But as chosen ones, we were born into this earth, and we are actually living our purpose and actually being true to who we are and what we were born to become because of God. God knew how powerful we are as his chosen ones, and he knows that nothing ever will come against us. And if you're with God, then who can be against you? And God was always protecting you, and God knew that every bad chapter in your life wasn't the last chapter, that everything was building you up for more integrity, more character, and now you are a leader as a chosen one, and you get to inspire and share your gifts with the world and help them. Just by being yourself, you help someone. Just by being who you are, you already make an impact in people around you without even knowing it. So just continue to be yourself as a chosen one, and don't ever let the world change you in any way. Don't let the world ever try to put you in a box. You are much more than what people ever put their limitations and their projections on you. That is not who you are. People just told you who they were. But now it's our time to elevate to the next level and finally speak our truth and tell the people who we really are. And even if they want to continue to have a negative perception about you, that is not your responsibility and your obligation to change that about them. You continue to be who you are, because God knows who you are. He knows your heart. He knows your spirit. He knows that you come from a good place, and you never try to harm anyone or treat someone unfairly, intentionally. And because of that, God always rewards you, because he sees that you sow seeds of love and care, and you are honestly a pure angel on this earth, and God will reward you for being that. So thank you guys so much for staying to watch this whole video. I got distracted. I was talking first about something, and I totally went on different rant, but I hope you guys really like this video and continue to be yourself, continue to stay true to yourself, and continue to share that light with the world. Bye. See you guys in my next video.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, wow, what a powerful video. 1 second, my setup. You guys should see my setup. Let me just give myself some space. Okay, so honestly, I really did enjoy the video. I just stumbled across her channel. It popped up on my feed, and I decided, okay, let me go ahead and share her story with the channel. So here on the channel, every time I find something good, I like to go ahead and share it, because, I want you all to have more people speaking about this issue than just myself. And so once again, we'll play another video of hers. It's going to be dealing more on the spiritual warfare lines, but pretty much she kind of broke down just her history, just her experience in this world, right? So she went from being brought into a family that bullied her to going into the educational system that did the same thing. Of course, the teachers joined in on it, right? So you would think that the teachers would be mature enough, and you would think that their job is to inspire and to motivate, young students. And it seems as she got her education, it just got worse and worse as she, progressed through the system. And honestly, this is what it's like, right? So we could say that this is an example of gang stalking. This is an example of narcissistic abuse, right? So these individuals work as a collective. And so when a lot of us are going through this type of abuse, it's not just one person, right? So it can be a whole classroom of people, it can be an entire family. And the reason why they pick on us is because of our spiritual abilities, our spiritual gifts, who we're connected to, who we're children of. And this is why they seek us out, right? And for anyone going through this particular type of abuse, my heart is with you. My heart is also with the content creator that I just shared, because I definitely understand. I definitely get, where she was coming from. And a lot of channels do talk about gang stalking. It really is spiritual warfare. This is why you will have these, what seems like these patterns follow you everywhere you go, right? So she talked about, I want to say she said black and silver cars would follow her. And when you realize that there is a spiritual world out there manifesting in the physical, then you'll understand why all these synchronicities occur in your life, right? So it's more than just technology, right? You have something controlling that technology, navigating through that technology. Now, I'm not going to dismiss that component, but it's spiritual. It really is spiritual. And this is why no matter where you go or no matter what you do, the gang stalkers, quote unquote, are these dark demonic entities. They seem to be everywhere that you are. And once again, they see something very powerful about you, right? So she talked about being an empathic individual, having love for animals, right? And I feel like a lot of us who are empathic when we're younger, we completely care about animals. We want to help heal the world and save the world. And we're mocked because of it. We're ridiculed because of it. Things that, maybe natural abilities of ours are shunned, right? So she said that she was very talkative, and, her teachers would punish her because she would speak. And once again, the school system, they're really just there for indoctrination. And so they don't like creative thought. They don't like critical thinking. And so when they see that, there's someone who is talented, a lot of times it is dismissed, right? And I had the same thing go on, when I was going to school, right? Of course, I started off in special education because, my narcissistic family wanted me to be slow so bad. And then, the teachers would go along with it and, write these papers, and the teachers would try to gaslight you as if you didn't know what you were trying to communicate. And it's very funny how we all have very, very similar stories, right? Let's see. So what I'll do is I'll check out the chat, and then we'll go ahead and share another video. I guess we had some people in the chat that I guess were potentially perps. So I just went ahead and put them on timeouts. And then if there's, offensive, then I'll go ahead and block them. But let's see here. All right, you all. And shout out to all of you. Hopefully all is well. It is amazing to have you all here. Well, we're 2 days before Christmas. Let's see here. Okay. Yes. So people do hate you for righteousness. And once you understand that we live in a fallen world, then you'll understand why we go through what we go through, because the world doesn't want good. And clearly, and the mob mentality of the hive, oh my God, it could drive people to suicide, right? So it's just like everywhere you go, people are making fun of you. Then you have to isolate yourself so you can limit the abuse. And then people will turn around and say something's wrong with you because you're isolated, right? So, but this is the experience that those of us who are empathic, this is what we go through in this world, right? And a lot of people rather dismiss it. A lot of people will try to gaslight us and doubt, try to get us to doubt our reality. because they don't want to see it, right? And once again, this all boils down to spiritual warfare. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just looking. All right. Okay. Just checking out some of the comments. Yes, and then a lot of bullying does occur in school, right? So I had a few bullies in school, but a majority of mine, it came from the household, right? And once again, the narcissist can see that something's different about you, and they don't want you to tap into the essence of who you truly are. They don't want you to be an individual. And so what they try to do is they try to manipulate you to be just like the cult. And a lot of us who are empathic, we don't we don't want to be a part of the cult. We like our individual souls. We don't want to be like the collective. And that becomes a problem for them, right? So um they want us just like them, right? And their same, basic mindset. And a lot of us were just simply not like that. So let's see here. All right. Just looking through the chat. Yes, and she does have excellent comprehension, right? And so once again, we can look at her and say, yes, you have excellent comprehension. And then the narcs will look at her and tell her that she's delusional and she's crazy. Oh my God, I can't with these demons. Yep, invalidation and betrayal. Yep. And this is how a lot of us get stuck in the abuse, because they just keep gaslighting us and tell us that we're crazy and this and that. And this is why it's very important to build your self-esteem and to empower yourself so that you're not crazy, right? They are. and they know what they're doing, but they just don't want you to realize it. So let's see here. I feel her. I believe in individualism and freedom and being your own person. Yes. And the world doesn't want you to. The world wants you to go along with the cult. And this is why a lot of us who are unlike the hive, this is why we, seem to, go through all this chaos in our lives. They are dead inside. Yeah, they are. They are. She is awesome. All right, let's see. I was reading a comment from Millennial and she was like, the drama around this video. But hopefully you all were able to hear it. I believe that you were. It was just a background sound in her video that was giving it the echo. Okay, so let's see here. It says, yep, I was also bullied and abused by teachers. Yeah, disciplinarians, right? Principals, counselors, students. And, it's just, once again, it's just amazing how they can pick up on the fact that we're different, right? And I believe that you had a few people follow you into the chat, because I think it was Lieutenant something, how he mentioned your name. But it's funny, everywhere that we go, they're there. They're trying to create some type of ruckus. And once again, they believe they know everything. We know nothing. We're delusional, right? And so when I talk about gang stalking, everybody wants to say it's the technology. I'm like, I understand, but it's more than just that. Stop being single-minded, right? Like, goodness gracious. It's always, we know better, right? Let's see here. My gang stalkers have been heavy on sleep deprivation. I don't understand why though, right? It's just, and once again, they'll just do stuff to annoy you. I haven't, in my personal life, I haven't noticed the car thing. It'll be pretty interesting. Let's see here. I was at Starbucks last week, crocheting with a friend. A man showed up, didn't offer coffee, and stared at us while whistling. Weird. Yeah. And once again, I think they just do this to intimidate you, right? What I'm finding out now is, as I step into who I truly am, they kind of leave me alone, right? Like, I mean, I don't really have like the evil glares that I used to. But I definitely can't let my guard down, for sure. I'm probably only known about 3 people my whole life who aren't heartless and are bullies, and I'm pushing 50. Yeah, it's not that many it's not that many of us. Now, I want to believe that there are a lot of us out there. But I'm not sure. I'm still understanding this stuff myself. Let's see here. Very similar. It's unbelievable and undeniable as well. Yeah, it's it's crazy. And it's just like, for someone to be trying to come of age, coming into themselves, and to continuously have this negative experience. It's, you know, it's really unfortunate, right? And I believe those of us who are empathic, we have so much beauty to offer to the world. They just don't want it. Let's see here. Interesting. Sounds like what I felt most of my life, right? So yeah, and once again, same here. And you know, when they see that they're not able to break us, it just seems like the more abuse comes our way, right? And she has another video, you guys. We might play that one. It says chosen ones are not meant to work 9 to 5. So I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to listen to that because you know I'm ready to get up out of there. It says, let's see here. So even my every family member and most friends have fallen away in this narcissist gang stalking evil. Yeah. And once again, what's interesting about narcissism in particular is once you start exposing the disorder, once they know that you know all the traits, it really makes them uncomfortable, right? Because they can gaslight us when we speak of gang stalking, but when we start breaking down the traits of the narcissist, they run. They run because they're like, okay, well, he's gonna eventually figure me out, right? So I found that to be very interesting as well. Okay, so yes. And once again, the narcs know that we're full of light. They know it. They know it. And at first they're attracted to us, and then that turns into envy and hate, right? Because they realize that we're not faking it. Okay, so I know a few narcissistic people around me for sure. Yeah, and they're everywhere. You know, and I feel like the more people you know, the more the higher chance of you running into one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so what I'll do is let's go ahead and play another video of hers. Right. So in this video, let me just go ahead and look for it first. She talks about spiritual warfare, which was the first video that I found of her. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and share that on the channel because, of course, gang stalking is a popular topic here on YouTube. But we have to understand the spiritual side. Well, I mean, a certain portion of the gang stalking, the targeting individuals have to understand the spiritual side so that they can wake up. Some people just don't want it. Okay, so let's see here. Just checking which video is it. Okay, so let me say gang stalking for spiritual awakening. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. It's a little shorter. Let me just get the screen ready. All right. But she's amazing. I really do like her content. I know I'm a binge watch all of her videos. One second, you all. Pulling it up on two different places so you all can hear. History. Is this the same one? Yeah.
Here's my recipe for smash burgers. Get no.
Ran into a commercial.
That's why some of these.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and share this so you guys can have some visual effects. And then also, if you all see any people that are disrupting the chats, the moderators feel free to put them on timeout or just let me know and then I'll block them because I know how they operate. I know. So what's her channel? Okay, so let me share that first. Let me go ahead and see. Do I got her channel up here? Okay, so let me see. Okay, exit full screen. Okay, and then we go to our channel so y'all could see. Video playlist. Okay, let me share this first. Share. Tabs. Okay, so this is her channel. All right. And she's good. She has a few videos too. So it looks like her gang stalking one is the most popular. But she's good. And check out her channel. Go follow her. I'm like, go love bomb her channel, right? The non-narcissistic way. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. Then we'll go here. Play the next video. Actually, I forgot to share. 1 second. Okay, so YouTube. Share targeted individuals. Okay, here we go. Let me space that out. Okay.
Hi, welcome back to my YouTube video. For this video, I want to go into part 2 about spiritual warfare. So let's always keep in mind that there's a spiritual realm, the world. It's not the physical world in which just we see the physical beauty and stuff. When we go into more awakening in different dimensions, we start to see the world by people's spirits and the energy. We read energies and we feel emotions and we trust in what God wants to reveal to us because He is our protector. He's constantly sending us signs and revealing to us who our enemies are. So let's get to it in this video. The first thing I want to talk about is gang stalking. Once your soul and you have spiritually awakened and you're at such a higher ascension and you break into the fifth dimension, you're going to see things that not very many people are able to see because they're not woke. They haven't waken up. They're still programmed and consumed by fear, anger, hatred, and oppression. But as spiritual beings, we have finally realized that we are our own source of power. We are our own source of energy and love and peace. We cultivate all these beautiful gifts of ours into our reality, into our lives. And we constantly feed into greater and more empowering information. And we constantly are feeding our soul with the Word of God. And that's why we shine so bright, because we're the light in this world of darkness. And so what will happen is we will be gang stalked. Now, a lot of people who aren't aware of the spiritual dimensions will think that you have some sort of mental illness. They will label you crazy. They will label you as you don't know what you're talking about, or something's wrong with you, or are you sure you're seeing what you're seeing? Trust and believe that you are able to see through the government and what is going on with surveillance and everything. It is true that the government is constantly watching us everywhere we go, through drones in the sky, through cars passing by countless times, just in circles and circles whenever you go out, to try to distract you and try to put fear in you and try to make you feel anxiety and anguish. But they fear you. They fear your power that they see in you. And so some of these people are very envious of it because they're not able to find their source of happiness, their source of peace within themselves. They're at war with themselves. And they see you living a beautiful, happy, prosperous life. And that's why they want to attack you and try to pull you into a lower state of vibration, which is anxiety, depression, sadness, and make you feel frightened. But us spiritual beings, we have no fear. We don't fear anyone. The only person we fear is God. So we walk everywhere we go with no fear because we know who we are and we know our true divine power within us. And nobody can ever take that away from us. They can try, but we're so spiritually strong that we might have a little moment of a breakdown, but we'll quickly be able to regain ourselves and our power and strength, and we'll be back with our powerful light and our powerful energy. And don't be afraid, because your angels and God and your ancestors and people who actually admire you, because let's just be honest, some of these people are realizing that you're a chosen one, and they are followers of God, and they admire you, and they actually look up to you, and they're also protecting you, believe it or not, because they know that you're something special and you're something so beautiful, and they're protecting you too. Another way that stalking happens is with your neighbors. So your neighbors are going to be stalking you, some of them 24/7 a day, but they constantly listen to every conversation that you have. Some of these people are also agents. They find information about you and they carry it out to other people who are also opposing you. And maybe some of them were sent to live near you in order for them to stalk you. Another reason why they're stalking you is because they're taking notes. They're trying to study your vulnerabilities, your daily routine, what you like to do. Some of them even try to mimic you, because demons love to mimic angels, believe it or not. They are fallen angels. Demons are fallen angels. They lost themselves, and they see you as an angel, and they have to try to pretend that they are also an angel, because they need to manipulate and deceive people, or deceive you. Also be aware of that. And also be aware that right now, during these times, envy, The energy of envy has arisen. Your neighbors and the people who constantly stalk you are waiting and constantly preying on your downfall. They want something bad to happen to you because they already counted you out and they spoke so bad about you to other people, and they're waiting for you to give up and for you to not get to your destiny. But I'm here to remind you, they're not as powerful as you think. You rebuke those demons out of your life. And God is the only one in control of you and your destiny. They aren't. They're already lost souls. They can't do much in their lives. They don't have the power that you have. Your power is so much stronger than your enemies. All your enemies are below you. You are above them. You are the head, and your enemies are the tail. Which means that the only way the enemy can win is if you, or the one who's in control, allows them to. That's why you have to continue to stay close to God so he can give you your energy. He's the source of your energy. He's the source of your drive. Make God the source of everything you do in this life. Because when you have God inside of you, you won't be driven in other directions that are not for you. When you have God, God is going to guide you through. That's why you shouldn't have fear. There's no such thing as fear when you know that God is protecting you. Always. And that is also why they stalk you. Because they're secretly envious of you. They hate you being at a much higher level than them. And they want to stop you from getting better and better. That is why I'm telling you, do not let the devil near you. The devil is going to attack you whenever you allow them into your space and circle. They do not deserve a second chance. Trust me, they're not going with you. They did you wrong already. You were able to see them for who they are. You were able to see that they had ill intentions towards you. And they no longer can try to manipulate you and pretend like they're an angel when you were able to see them as a demon. Another thing about highly spiritual people and chosen ones is that they try to deny our existence. They try to deny our anointing, and they try to pretend that they're somehow better than us and minimize our value and try to make us feel unworthy. Even if we have everything, we have the whole plate in our lives. We have integrity, respect. We are very hardworking. We deserve the credit. We do everything that we're supposed to do to better our lives and make choices that are going to prosper into our future. And also, we show them respect and kindness. And we never once made anyone feel less than. But since they're so threatened by your anointing, they have to try to make you feel less than. Because the demon hates good. Demon hates anything that is good. But I'm here to tell you that God wants you to show up in those places. Even though they hate you, even though they dislike you, you have the authority to walk into those places with confidence, with the Spirit of God, and with the power of discernment. You deserve to roam and walk around any place that you want. The enemy does not have power over you, remember that. You are the one with the power. You decide, you call the shots, and you go in there knowing who you are, regardless of what any opinions of these devils try to convince you of. And if they want to manipulate you, then you leave, because you know your worth, and you know that you don't deserve to be putting up with anybody who wants to try to play you and deny you from who you are. You're a chosen one. Chosen ones are not to be messed with. We are not to be taken as a joke. God is serious about us. And whenever your enemies do something hurtful to you or try to harm you, God hurts him a lot because he knows that you have good intentions towards people and you never want to harm anyone. So when God sees them doing something to his anointed, he will take matters into his hands and he will give them a divine payback for messing with you. And that payback, you're not responsible for it. God is going to take care of it. And the crazy part is that when God takes matters into his hands, God teaches them a very hard lesson, a very difficult lesson that can even cause your enemies to hit rock bottom for messing with you. You are that important to God, that God will make sure that your enemies feel the taste of their own medicine when they try to harm you. That's why some of these demonic energies are living such miserable lives, because God is continuing to tell them, that's what you get. That's what you get because you're not following the scripture and you're deciding to live your life through your own rules and through society. Understand that society is all the devil's playground. Everything that's going on in today's world, the worldly people are brainwashed, they're corrupted, and they're fueled by demonic spirits and entities. They have been possessed by several demons: the demon of alcohol, the demon of drug addiction, demons of sexual addiction, the demon of self-control. They lack self-control. They quickly act through their ego. every single day to get their needs met, to hurt someone in order for them to feel powerful and feel alive and important. They have to harm someone, which is sick. If you think about it, it's sick and it's twisted. That's how you know they're a demon. Pay attention. These demons try to think that we don't pay attention to everything that they do and that we don't have them figured out. As chosen ones, we figured them out very quickly. We figure them out and we know exactly what they're all about. Just like they know that we're God's chosen and they know that we have the divinely anointing over our lives. And that's why they try to deceive us, because they want to take advantage of us, because they see how abundant and how happy and fulfilled our lives have been thanks to our God. And so you are also able to see them for who they are. They keep trying to play with their old tricks of deception and pretend to be nice, but that mask that you once saw, you no longer believe it anymore. It's not going to work. You are able to read the spiritual energies, especially if you're an empath. An empath absorbs the energies in each room that they walk into, each place that they're in, each person that's around them. They are quickly to be able to read their energetic fields. If they're angry, if they're agitated, if they're sad, if they're happy, if they're confused, you are able to quickly pick up on their mental state and their energetic fields. And that's why they can't lie to you, because you absorb also their energy. You feel it on such a deeper level that other people are not able to sense that energy that you feel, and you feel it strong. So when someone sends you negative energy, you feel it intensely because you're an empath and you absorb it. Another thing about empaths is that they know when someone's trying to manipulate them. They are observant. Empaths and spiritual beings are very observant. We may be quiet, and people may look at us as naive or innocent or not as smart, when in reality is smart people play dumb. But we do it for a reason, because we let people reveal their cards to us. When people reveal their cards to us, we're able to quickly put the pieces together and know who we're dealing with and know what their spirit, if it's good or bad. So don't ever think you're fooling an empath or a chosen one. We are very, very intellectual and smart. We know the rules of manipulation. We know the enemy's tricks, and we stay prayed up. We are divinely protected, and we must have no fear, not be scared of these enemies. We trample them. They are our footstools. Our enemies are our footstools. Remember that. We will use our enemies as our footstools, which means we will step on them in order to continue to climb into higher levels. So always remember your position on this earth and know that you are above all these Decepticons and demonic forces. Thank you guys for watching. Stay blessed. Continue to be yourself. Continue to be the real you. And continue to share that light with the world. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let's see here. All right. That was good, especially at the end. Let's see here. Hopefully all is well. To those of you who are just joining, today we're just kind of exploring the spiritual side of gang stalking, right? It's a popular topic here on YouTube, and it's important to explore the spiritual element. It was interesting too. She talked about how really educated people are not educated, but smart people are. We play dumb. And it's funny because I kind of use that as a recommendation when it came to dealing with the narcissist, is to play dumb. I thought that was funny. And she talked about how empathic people are really great at feeling the energy in the room, and they know when you're trying to manipulate them. And I'm like, I feel like she's me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, we're like the same person. And she's so wise for her age. I just find it so beautiful. And she reminds me of a friend that I had. They're like almost identical. And so once again, just know, if you have been a targeted individual, you are powerful, you're intelligent, you're chosen, and don't allow these demons to make you depressed. Don't allow them to take advantage over you. And once again, studying the traits of these demons, right? We can say, the narcissists, the demons, they're very, very easy to pick up on. Once you know about 10 particular traits, you can spot them out anywhere. And so once again, this is why I always encourage those of you listening to the channel to really explore the traits of the narcissists, because they're like robots. And if you figured out one, you have another. So should I play another video of hers? The next video that I was interested in playing was, let me go ahead and exit full screen so I can see what it says. Let me pull this up now. But yeah, she's pretty good. I like her. Where are we? Okay, so this one's shorter. So it's going to say what is it? Targeted individuals are God's chosen people. So I haven't listened to this, but I guess I'll go ahead and listen to it with you all. Let me just go ahead, and then that'll be the last video, and we'll go ahead and do an after show and get up out of here. Let me just pull it up on my phone. But yeah, she's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Once again, we can look at her work and say how amazing it is. And then, of course, all the demons and the narcissists, they'll gaslight her and tell her that she's crazy.
Are you okay?
1 second. Let me just turn this down. Wait for this commercial to pass. And then we'll go ahead and get in the video. Okay. So, all right. Let me share screen. All right. And what do we have here? Hey, Herb Garden, how are you? Okay, so is it this one? Yes. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah, she even looks like my friend. Like, oh man. Okay, so let me see. 2 seconds. All right, so I'm listening to this for the first time with you all. 1 second. Oops, let me turn it up.
Likely a targeted individual because you are chosen one. As a chosen one, we are being stalked by people around us every day and every moment of our lives right now. From your neighbors, your family members, bosses, work colleagues, and a lot of other people who are sent to also be agents to keep track of your life. They all are watching your every move and they're listening to everything you are saying. And there's some of them are trying so hard to manipulate you into trying to be just like them. They are watching, listening, and keeping up with your every move to try to knock you off your path towards righteousness. They are in secret competition with you, envious of your life, and want to destroy it, snatch it away from you, take your position, and try to distract you from focusing on your path. They secretly despise you and they're hoping for your derail and for you to mess up in your life. They are silently quiet in order to pay close attention to what is going on with you in your life. Your neighbors have been avoiding you intentionally because they are extremely hateful, envious, and resentful that God has favored you to be a chosen one. Do not be fooled into thinking that they are with you when they try to be nice to you when they come around you. They are being fake and they want to try to intervene in what you have going on in your life in order to hinder your life. Believe me, this is spiritual warfare. It is very real right now. It's between good and bad energy. Devils and angels are both at war in these times. Chosen ones are being under surveillance through traffic mobbing, where several cars are driving around your house repeatedly to keep an eye on you. The people in the cars are typically your family members, people who work for the government, bosses, and coworkers at your workplace. Then you also have your neighbors who are also studying you. As soon as you walk into your place, they are trying to spy on you in order to get information about you. They try to use it against you, critique what you have going on, and they try to copy and imitate you because they are secretly inspired and they want to try to take what you have going on in your life. That is what is really going on right now. And especially the narcissists. They are extremely observant right now of you because they hate you because you're everything that they want and that they lack. So they're going to imitate you. And especially if you've got a lot of prosperous things going on in your life. And it inspires those around you. They don't like that you are highly favored and you are destined for success. That God has anointed you to fulfill your dream and your purpose as a chosen one. So they're just going to ghost. They're like a ghost in the background. They secretly hate you while pretending to unacknowledge you and your presence when you get near them. But they are constantly in the background watching you and listening to you. They pretend as if you do not exist and that you are a nobody. Meanwhile, they take notes to try to better their lives through you. Even at your workplace, they will support people that do not even put half the work that you are putting in when you go to work. You are dedicated and you are a hard worker, and they are still going to undervalue you and make it seem that you are less than them. Everyone participating in targeting you will make you feel unworthy. They will try to downplay who you truly are. They would rather support someone who has a fake image and who is not true to themselves than support you who is authentic and real and transparent and being yourself and being a loving, caring person. The fact that you keep it real and they are fake, it irritates them and makes them feel some type of way, usually negative, because they can't comprehend how they can't find any third about you because you really are who you say you are and you don't have hidden motives or nothing to be used against you. So even on social media, you could have agents, friends, family members who are constantly keeping up with your social media to see what you have going on. These people live through you, and they try to pretend as if they don't. It is obvious because you start to pick up and pay attention to your surroundings. You can see clearly what is going on in the spiritual realm. Low vibrational people cannot take the fact that anyone is better than them because they are fueled by their ego, and they need to feel superior to you. That is why they are also trying to be intrusive towards you. You have to be aware that they are not your supporters. They are preying on your downfall. Do not engage with them. Try to keep your distance away from them, and try not to share anything that you have going on towards your goals, your aspirations, and try to keep everything as minimal as you possibly can, please, because you need to take care of yourself. The sad reality is that even your family members have decided to be a pawn for the devil, and they are working against you. So you do not become what you are trying to become. The truth is that your state of consciousness is so elevated that you stand out everywhere you go. So that is also what makes you a targeted individual. You can go to a restaurant and you bring a lot of attention towards you because you are at a much higher spiritual level than a lot of other people. And then they can also see your spiritual spirit, and they know how powerful it is. So you have also outgrown so many people, and you are a chosen one, and so you are serious about God. Many people are still trapped in their worldly ways, and you no longer find it entertaining to do what they do. Trust and believe me that they see your growth, your shine, your bright spirit that shines from within, and your soul, and it intimidates many people who can't comprehend why it is you, especially those who treated you badly and made you feel inferior to them. They are outraged to see what you have transcended into. And when you speak the truth, it will offend many people because you're exposing their lies, and many people want to stay living in their lies. And it is a lonely path when you surrender your life to God and not to people of the world. Many will reject you, mock you, and deny you because they can't keep up and understand why you are a chosen one and not them. And remember, this is your life, so you've got to make the changes necessary to keep elevating towards your destiny, despite what oppositions come against you. You are capable. I believe in you. You are a chosen one. You are protected, and you must continue to stay strong. And I believe in you, and I know that you will be able to get through these times. As a chosen one, I really hope we can all come together and support each other and bring more awareness about what is going on, because we need to be there for each other. And I really think that God wants us to get together and support each other. As chosen ones, we should love each other because we are going through the same thing. We need to have empathy and compassion for each other. And I love you guys a lot, and I really need you guys to take care of yourselves and be strong. Have no fear. God is with you. Put on the armor of God and continue to pray. Continue to stay close to Him, and continue to be yourself and share that light with the world. Bye.
Okay, let me cancel this. All right. Oh man, the whole time she was talking, I wanted to snap my fingers. I'm like, oh my God, I agree with you so much. I agree with you so much. Oh man, like she's literally lived this my life. Like this is this is what we go through, and it's just so funny how similar we are. But hopefully, this could be words of encouragement to those of you who are going through narcissistic abuse in the various settings, workplace, your familial setting, your relationship setting. Right? This is the spiritual war that the Bible speaks of. And once again, there's something about our energy. Once we accept God into our lives, it's like we evolve spiritually, and people notice it about us, and it intimidates a lot of people. So I talked about on the channel how I had an interview. It was over Zoom, and as soon as I turned that camera on, the person interviewing, her smile went from a smile to very uncomfortable. And I could just tell right away, like we weren't a good match for each other, because there was something about me that was making her uncomfortable. And for those of you who have a connection with God and who are really evolving spiritually, because really God does change you, right? It's going to bother a lot of people, and they're not going to understand what's different about you, but they know something's different about you. And sometimes they'll even tell you. They'll say, so many times people have told me, honestly, you're not like a lot of people. I don't really understand what it is, but you're just not. And I'm like, you just met me. You don't know anything about me. But it's this aura. It's like this force field that we have around us that really does separate us, or it could be our tone of voice, right? Our mannerism. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And like just like Sammy said, she's wise beyond her years, right? So she's in her 20s. She looks like she's in her early 20s, and she figured it out, right? And it took me I was age 29 when I figured it out. And once again, the damage that these people do to you, you hold on to all this trauma, and then you devalue yourself, or you don't really see your true potential. And I remember sitting in therapy, and I'm like, wow, I really do put myself last. Like I put everybody's needs before my own. And it was because I was holding on to this trauma, and I didn't really value myself as much as I needed to, right? And I wanted to, but the pain was keeping me from really discovering the true beauty and essence of who I truly was. And it's important for those of us healing from narcissistic abuse to find that person, right? To help heal that inner child and really walk into this reality, powerful individuals that we truly are, right? We get our power from God. And once we step into our our power, there's really nothing to fear, right? So a lot of us can be targeted. A lot of us will see all this street theater. And once these demons know that you're not scared of them, all this stuff kind of stops, right? But you do have to connect spiritually, because if you don't, they're just going to keep playing this game, because these demons, they know that you're lost, right? So this is why we have to bring in the God factor, right? This is why it's very important. So let's look at some of these comments. I have one more video that I kind of want to play of hers. I'm like obsessed. Um, it talks about how chosen ones are not meant to work 9 to 5s, and even what she was talking about in the workforce. So I've brought it up on the channel, how your work is always dismissed, right? So you could be doing a phenomenal job, and then somebody who's doing half the work that you're doing, and they're just participating under their false image, they get praised when we get devalued, right? So I worked for a doctor, and he would pull me off of the different reports that I would do, which he was supposed to be doing, by the way, but I would do them. And without telling me like, "Oh, you suck," he will pull me off these assignments and give it to other employees to make me feel like I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm like, bro, like I've been in school forever. One thing I know how to do is write a paper, so I'm good. Less work for me to do. And so what would happen was, um, as he would give it to other employees, they would send it to me. I would go through, edit everything, and then they would submit it as their own. And then he would say how great it was. And I'm like, well, you're looking at my work. So shout out to you, right? But this is what they do. They don't want us to really tap into our true abilities. They want us to be servants. They want us to be the scapegoat of the collective. And once again, we have to step into our power. And as I started working on myself and really healing from the abuse, really forgiving, I found myself separated from the world. And it's a beautiful thing to have, this alone time, temporarily, because the world, they can really drag you through the mud. And I'll be starting work next week, and it's just been a really nice break, right? Just really discovering who I truly am, right? And sharing my thoughts with you all on the channel, because I'm pretty sure you all have gone through what I've gone through. And this world really isn't for us. But when we understand our power, we can get through it. Yes, they steal everything that we have, and they don't want us to have anything, right? They don't. They don't, right? It is just so crazy how they just don't want us to have anything. Um, but yeah, so she's very inspiring, and I'm like, I like her. I know she's speaking from the heart. I know she is. And she's amazing, and I'm sending her a virtual hug. Let's see here. And once again, a lot of people, they don't understand our experience, right? A lot of people, they truly don't get it. They think we're stuck, we're hung up on, the past. And but for those of us who that experience this, we truly are special, right? And just know that. And we will get through this. This life is temporary. These demons are out here, but we can get through this. Okay, so what I'll do is, let me go ahead and play one more video of hers, because I'm kind of obsessed, and then we'll go ahead and do an after show. Let's see here. Let me find this next video of hers, because I want to know why she thinks that chosen ones aren't meant to work 9 to 5s. I need to know that, because we need to get up out of this 9 to 5 that I'm. All right, let's see here. Okay, let me just pull this up. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so we got that. But yeah, she's phenomenal. All right, so now what am I gonna do? You like how I like talk out things before I do them? Okay, so I'm already on it. Okay, perfect. Let me just go. And it's raining, by the way, so you guys might hear the rain in the background noise, which it never really rains in LA. So we'll see. Right before Christmas, right? Okay, so let's see here. StreamYard. And shout out to all of you on the chat. Feel free to like the video. Give me some love. I don't know if YouTube is unfollowing people, or if I just have a whole bunch of people who unfollow me every time I post a video, but something's going on. Let's see here. But show me some love. Okay, let me see. Okay. Let me expand this, and let me start it over. 1 second, you all. I'm trying to make it sync up with my phone. I think that's good enough.
Welcome back to my channel. So for this video, I want to talk about why chosen ones do not fit in workplaces and why being trapped in a job is extremely detrimental to chosen ones and their
Keyword
energy and their
trapped.
mental health. Let's begin. Chosen ones are very free thinkers and free-spirited. They love to think for themselves, be in their own state of independence, and feel free and be themselves fully all the time. And being a chosen one is when you feel that you are just being your highest self and you're at a very high vibrational state compared to a lot of other people that you work with. Let's start. So a chosen one going into the workplace is going to stand out immediately. Other people in the workplace, their supervisors, their bosses are going to feel that high energy and that amount of energy that the chosen one's presence has whenever they step into a room or the workplace. Everyone is going to be able to feel that energy in your presence. And so supervisors and the people in charge will overwork chosen ones and will try to get as much as they can from them and drain them from their energy and drain them from their vibrational state and lower them to a lower vibrational, because that is what happens when chosen ones are around a lot of low vibrational people. Their energy gets drained very rapidly because there's a lot of energy vampires surrounding them and they're just ready to zap that energy away from the chosen ones. And chosen ones are overworked and they're micromanaged. So since you're a chosen one and you do right all the time and you work hard and you're very dedicated and committed and hardworking, your supervisors can see how hardworking you are and they will purposely assign you even more and more work to take your energy away, because some of them are very envious and jealous that you have reached such a high level and growth and you keep growing and growing, and they see your energy and sometimes it bothers them and they want to try to take it away from you because they need everybody in the workplace to be the same. Everyone needs to be in the same frequency in order to work the job. And so that's another thing, is that they're going to try to control you and make you fit into their mold and be just like them, so they can feel comfortable when they step into the workplace when they're around the chosen one, so they're not triggered or they don't feel inadequate or inferior whenever the chosen one is around them. A lot of people are very insecure and have low self-esteem when they're around the chosen one, because chosen ones are very confident and they're very comfortable in their own skin and they embody self-love and self-respect and they treat people with a lot of integrity and they have a lot of character and empathy and compassion. And so being around that workplace is very draining and tiring, and after you leave the job you feel like you have to work twice as hard in order to regain your energy back, and it might take a couple of days in order to finally re-energize your energy, because it takes time to protect your energy and then work to maintain that energy that you have throughout the day. And when it's constantly being drained, you have to work hard to get more energy the next day and continue to work and work and work. And another thing about being a chosen one is that be prepared, because they will micromanage you, and keep an eye on you because you stand out and they want to make sure that you don't make a mistake. And when the chosen one makes a tiny mistake, be prepared, because they're going to blow it up and blow it out of proportion and exaggerate and make it feel that you need to be doing more and that it's just not enough, and they're going to be very unappreciative and ungrateful for the hard work and the effort that you're putting into your job. And that is why I also believe that chosen ones are not meant to work a 9-to-5 minimum job, because they overwork you and you have such a high frequency that you can be honestly doing a lot more stuff in your life to improve your life and to work as your own boss, because chosen ones are leaders. We do not need to have someone manipulating us and telling us, I need you to go do this, I need you to go do that. And they're going to feel powerful controlling someone with higher frequency, and they're going to feel that they are superior to them because they feel as if they're able to control someone with such a higher frequency and they're a low vibrational human being, that it makes them feel powerful inside. Another reason why we weren't designed to work a 9-to-5 job is because we are free thinkers and we're free-spirited. And so we love to create and evolve and grow and grow. And being stuck in the same cycle over and over again doesn't allow chosen ones to actually be in their state of abundance, their state of energetic field, because when you're around a lot of people, you have to protect your energy and make sure that other people are not feeding off of your energy when they come around. And also engaging with a lot of different energies. When you work at a certain place, you're subjected to all types of energies that come your way. And it really destabilizes your energy frequency. Another reason why is because you are at a much more spiritual and mentally higher state than most people. So you're no longer participating in low vibrational activities such as gossiping, eating fast foods, participating in drinking or going to the clubs or doing all these other things that a lot of low vibrational people continue to do in their lives. You would rather, instead of focusing on other people's problems and focusing on conversations that aren't really of value and aren't beneficial to your growth, that will literally make you feel as if you do not fit in, and you won't fit in either way. Also, when you go into your workplace, you're not going to fit in. You're not going to relate to the other people that you work with because you guys are on two different frequencies, and low vibrational people are not going to understand you on the vibrational state that you are and the spiritual awakening and the evolution that you've gone through. They're just not going to understand you, and you are just going to see how unproductive their conversations are and how it's not actually helping you grow at all. It's actually keeping you stuck and trapped in very low vibrational energy when you're at work. And I believe that us chosen ones have the ability to actually receive what we want. Since we're very abundant human beings, we attract a lot of abundance. I believe that we can be our own, think for ourselves, and do something in our own life and be our creators of our reality and our destiny instead of having other people on top telling us what to do. I feel that as chosen ones should really be leaders, true leaders, and create our own life, because this is our life, and anything that is draining you and isn't helping you grow is a distraction in your life, and it's not actually beneficial to you and your path with God, because you also go through spiritual warfare, and going into a job also will take away that energy and will weaken your ability to battle against these other demonic spiritual beings who are coming against you because of your anointing and your spirit of God that you have within you. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is that you need to be investing your time and energy into things that are going to make you stronger, strengthen you, instead of weaken your spirit and weaken your energetic field and aura. I also believe that. And chosen ones also get targeted in the workplace. That's another thing. We are very prone to be the center of the attention, and people focus a lot on us because we have something that they want. And when we step in there to quickly trying to study you and trying to see what you have going on in your life and be a part of your life in order to receive energy, and because they see what you have going on and they see that you're going to go somewhere far in your life. And so some people are going to see that, and that's why they're going to want to get close to you in order to benefit off of you and your energy and your time. And also be aware of any coworkers that come to you with their problems and they tell you everything that they're going through and vent to you constantly and throw all of their problems onto you and ask for your advice and make you listen to them and talk about themselves constantly and try to do this energy transference where you're giving a lot of your energy and time to them, and they're just taking it. And these are energy vampires, and they're not going to reciprocate any energy back to you because they don't have the capacity to reciprocate the amount of energy that you require, that your soul requires. That's why chosen ones need to be around people who are also very spiritual and have a lot of energy, because that type of energy will protect your energy as well and will also feed you more energy that you need. It's also important, and be aware that any interaction that you have, there's always an energy transference taking place. So protect your energy and try to not give too much of your energy away, because then you're not going to have enough for yourself. And always make sure that your cup is always full and that you're taking care of yourself before you want to take care of someone else who also needs help. It's very crucial for us chosen ones to, during these times, take very good care of ourselves, because God needs us to continue to put on the fight of being a chosen one and continuing to lead the path towards our destination, which is going to heaven. So we need our energy. We need to protect it at all costs. And also, do not allow anyone to try to tear you down whenever you're at the workplace. Set strong boundaries. And if they're not respecting you as an individual and they're treating you harshly or like you're inferior, please do not stay there to tolerate any sort of abuse or any sort of mistreatment. You are divinely protected. You are a divinely beautiful, pure soul, and you do not deserve to be treated less than. This is about you now, and you need to take care of yourself and everything about you, because you can't be running low anymore. You can't lose what you have, your energy, so please take care of it as much as you can, and do not feel bad for leaving a situation or an environment that is taking more from you than giving back to you, because this is all about growth. We are constantly growing and growing and growing, and we don't need to be stagnant and stuck in a situation where it's not helping us elevate towards the next level. We constantly need to be mentally challenged and continuing to persevere and gain even more resistance. Everything that is difficult and is challenging you, it's actually helping you build more strength and being more strong. And anything that is keeping you just in the same situation constantly and there's nothing else testing you, that means you're not doing enough. You need to keep continuing to challenge yourself in order to build even more resistance. And also that also will help you with the discernment, because the more you grow spiritually and mentally, the more you are able to use that power of discernment to your full advantage. So this is all I want to say. Please decide to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Don't think about what's best for other people. Always think about what is best for you in your life, and do what's right for you. Be yourself, continue to be true to yourself, and continue to share that light with the world. Bye.
Okay, 1 second, you guys. Just moving some things around. I'll be right back. I am back. Okay, let me see here. 1 second. Okay. Oops, making a mess. Okay. So, yeah, so I once again, this young lady is phenomenal, And I was really excited to share her with you guys. So let me see. I took a few notes on this last video, and what was interesting was this is the first time that I watched this video from her. And she talked about how chosen ones, we're not meant to work 9 to 5s. And so a lot of us, because we've been indoctrinated to go along with this system, um, we find ourselves stuck, right? And no matter how much we try to make it work, it just doesn't, right? So we do have to take our power into our own hands and become entrepreneurs, become business owners, so that we can, live the life that we want, right? And a lot of us have natural gifts and traits and intellect. And if the narcissist can go out there and create their businesses, so can we, because intellect is something that they truly lack. But it's more than just showing up, right? So a lot of us we run into trouble in the workplace because of the light that's within us, right? So of course, like I stated earlier, our work is never it's always just diminished, and we're targeted, right? And we'll have a lot of people in mid-level management who will try to get us to make mistakes. So what the narcissist will do is they will overload you with responsibility because they want you stressed out. They want you burnt out. They want you to make a mistake. And then they'll come in and they will act like they're trying to assist you. And typically, this is when you see things like write ups, or they'll try to get you fired. Oh my God, they will bring people in that they know personally to try to get you fired. Like I've had it, I've had it happen to me. And, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy when you really understand how the hive operates and you're trying to defend yourself. It seems like you're going up against so many bullies that nobody will believe you. And so this is why, those of us who talk about workplace abuse, this is why we keep bringing it up, because there is a sector of the population who goes through this stuff, and these demons just don't let up. And so what we have to do is we have to start trying to create something of our own, right? So somebody in the chat said, I'm happy that you held out to get a better job, and hopefully I'll be stepping into something that's healthy, right? And my discernment is pretty good when it comes with people, especially after everything that I've learned over the past few years. And so what I've learned at my last interview was a lot of people were either codependent or empathic. And so what will happen is typically a lot of codependents or empaths will hold on to a lot of trauma, so they'll be like heavier. And I noticed that with one of my employers that was interviewing me, and then the other two were really nice as well. So we'll see. We will see. But once again, I'm also trying to, I'm working on something of my own so I can get up out of that environment, because once again, I know it's not for me, right? And which we need, for those of us who are empathic and creative, we need to constantly be developing ourselves. And when we don't have that freedom, this is when we become miserable, right? So we're always looking for ways to evolve. And when you do the same job over and over again, this is why I bounce around from one year, to the next, because after doing the same thing for a year, you just get bored, right? Then of course a lot of employers will say, okay, well, why are you moving between these jobs? And it's like, I got bored. Like I wanted to explore a different field, right? And they see that as a problem. And it's so funny how this world just wants us to be robot like, right? Where they just want us doing the same thing. They don't want us thinking, right? Then they want to create a AI that's more intelligent than us, and it's a hot mess. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, and then once again, for those of you who are empathic, because you have empathy, because you have compassion, because you're a great listener, a lot of people are going to want to throw their baggage onto you, and they'll disguise that as looking for help, right? But what you have to understand is it's very important to protect your energy. And a lot of people who come to you explaining their various problems, they're not looking to solve it, right? It's like this constant loop that they're on, and they constantly want to tell you about their problems. Oh my God, my life is so hard. I can't believe she did this. I can't believe he did that. They'll be, caught up in their emotions, yelling, and they're just so angry. But once again, this is a way that the narcissist can really drain you of your energy. Now, it's okay every now and then to hear your friends out or whoever is speaking to you about these things. But if they're not actively trying to change it, then you got to cut them off, right? Or cut off that conversation. And what will happen is as you start to set boundaries, they'll keep trying to bring it up, right? So I had a niece and she grew up in the same household as me, and she constantly wanted to tell me how shitty her parents were. And I'm like, you've always known that they were shitty and you're not doing anything about it, right? I separated myself from them. So you can do the same thing, but you choose not to, but you rather come into my life and complain about them to drain me of my energy. And it's just not worth it. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, and this is why setting strong boundaries is important, which we discuss a lot on the channel. And yeah, so let me go ahead and read some of your comments, and we can go ahead and do an after show and get up out of here. All right, so let's see. And I'm caffeinated, you all. I am caffeinated, and it's great. Okay, so um, I don't even give off the vibe that can take on people's baggage. And what's interesting is, that the narcissists, they're always studying us and testing us, and they'll kind of like plant little seeds or throw little seeds at us to see how we respond. And I used to be so bad at it. I listen to all my friends' problems. And once I realized that they weren't telling me their problems because they really wanted, someone, to give them criticism and help them to overcome. They just wanted to dump their toxic load onto me, right? And some people, they just can't get through life without gossiping. Like my sister will call me all the time and just gossip. And I'm like, I don't really care to talk about this stuff. Like, I'll call you back, right? But this is what the narcissist does, right? They make everything about themselves and they're always gossiping. All right, so let's see here. It says I used to do the same thing hopping around different jobs. I've been away from 4 jobs. Let me see. It jumped. I'm sorry. 4 years. But it's still a challenge building up incomes and businesses. Yes. And once again, when it comes to owning something of your own, I understand that it is a struggle, right? But for me, I believe that it's important. I do believe that I can handle it with all these mandates and all the chaos that's going on in the world. I'm like, it's time. It's time. I'm old enough. Like, it's time. All right. Yes, trauma dumping. I saw that. I'm scrolling up. So let me see here. But yes, this is what they do. Yeah. So they want you there every day just so that they can bully you. Like, it's they're just sick individuals. It is, if you take a day off, then it's a big deal. If you call in sick, it's a big deal, right? So you'll be like, oh, I'm sick. Well, we still need you to come in. And it's like, you don't care about our health. And it's just, you're making us sick. But yeah, this is what they look forward to. And then once again, when you're not willing to tolerate the abuse, they got a problem with you. That's why I lasted at my last job 6 days. Oh my God. I cannot stand these demons. Okay, so just looking through some of these comments, you are very welcome. Very, very, very welcome. Her YouTube channel is, I'll go ahead and post a link in the comments section so that you all can see, because it's just her name. I'll go ahead and then on the show notes, I'll also post it there, but she was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's see here. There you go. Okay. All right. So I had YouTube acquaintance asked to chat and then refused to chat, then sending random links and photos. Nope. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, some people really do need your energy and they can sense it. Even, no one can even see what I look like on here, but people can sense it. And so what they'll try to do is attach themselves to you. Yes, workplace mobbing is definitely a real thing. Yes, and this is what they do. They're nosy, right? Like I told you guys, like my adopted father, he would sit behind the screen door, right? So we had a wooden door and we had a screen door, and he would sit behind the screen door and just stare off into the neighborhood. He was paying attention to what everybody else did and really not focusing on himself, right? And he could point out all the flaws with me, but I'm like, okay, but you sit here all day and do nothing, right? So, but they're always analyzing, they're always gossiping. They'll start making up stories in their head. They'll look at your social media and then try to gossip about what they think your love life is. If you don't post on social media, they'll gossip about that. So something must be wrong with you because you don't post on social media. they're always making up something in their head. And typically, they'll spread these rumors about you and people just believe it without even trying to, observe who you are, on the inside. But it's so funny. It says I really have a problem with authority. Me too. Me too. I feel like I'm naturally a rebel. And here it is. I don't mind authority. I just don't like taking authority from dumb people. And a lot of people in this reality are dumb. They're stupid, right? Like they're like, and it's that did sound bad, huh? But it's the truth. You all know it. Like, I mean, come on, look at our president. Like, why would I take orders from him? And he reminds me of a lot of he reminds me of my narcissistic father. He reminds me of a lot of these toxic employers that I had. And a lot of them, they just want to boss you around because they don't like you. They don't like the energy that you give off. And, they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to discover true solutions. And then these are the people who are placed in positions of power. And this is why the world is going to hell in a handbasket, right? They don't know what they're doing. They don't, right? And going back on, hot topic is inoculations, but going back on this thing, they're trying to have you to take a fourth and fifth one. And that's the only solution, right? So they've never cared about our health prior to this, and now they keep saying, "Oh, well, you need another one. Well, you need another one. You need another one." And I have some footage on that crap, you guys. We're gonna have to I'll show you all, but on a different platform. But it is brutal. Let me tell you. Okay, so oh yeah, millennial launch your business. I was on Instagram today and I saw somebody crocheting shoes, and I thought that was interesting. I should send you the link. But yes, so and I think all of us need to, right? Because this truly is a spiritual battle, and it just seems like it's becoming more polarized. And so once again, a lot of us aren't welcome. Like even with this new job, the people interviewing me seem nice, but what about my coworkers, right? So it's going to be it's interesting, right? There's always at least one ready for you. Okay, so yeah, and once again, they will infiltrate your DMs, right? They will spam your emails. They will try to connect with you when you're out in public at various parties. And once again, sometimes we put ourselves on a high horse and we think, oh, well, I must be amazing. This is why they want to get to know me. And really, it's to half of them just want to zap you of your energy or use you, right? But they truly don't care. And we get confused by this because we truly do care, right? So let's see here. It says, I wish I would have known this when I was young. Yeah, but we knew something was wrong, right? And they just did a really great job at hiding what narcissistic abuse was. They didn't want the public to know about this because this is what keeps their society running, right? So when they can abuse us, then they can get up and go to work every day. They can, do the various daily tasks that they have once they know that we're subject to their abuse. And what's happening is a lot of us are starting to empower ourselves and we're becoming aware so their tricks don't work. And they freak out when they realize that everything they're doing to us is not working when in the past it used to. So it really does bother them. Hey Joseph, how are you? Hopefully all is well. Everyone check out his channel. All right. Yeah, most authority is corrupt. It says, yeah. It says no, they are often dumb. They are. They are. And I think this is why, I wouldn't want to say like I'm the brightest guy in the world, but I feel like a lot of people are just like dumb. Like it's like, oh my God, it's bad too. And it's like that robotic type of dumb. Like it's like, okay, well, you don't have a consciousness, you don't have a brain and you're just programmed to do what you're told and that's what you do, and then you get mad at people who go against that, right? And who want to be individuals. They hate that, and then we become a problem, and they invest all this time and energy trying to destroy us, and I'm like, just stop. Like, you're never going to win, you're never going to do it. Like, I've been in some pretty bad situations, I'm sure all of you all have too, and we bounce back, and they can't stand it, so they try harder. Oh man, it says dense is a good word. Let's see here. All right, just looking, just looking. All right, but yeah, so that was the live today. It says I'm praying this next job is peaceful enough for you to stay a while. Yeah, and then once again, it's a temp job. So it's like a 4 to 5 month contract. The company can choose whether or not they want to to buy me out of the contract or whatever and hire me as a other employee, like their own employee. But, um, I'm already working on something. So I'm like, okay, well, if I don't like it, then I could just bounce, right? Complete my contract and just bounce. But we'll see. And I know that I wouldn't, stay there longer than a year anyway. So, but I definitely am working on something of my own. I should be doing that right now. But, I figured it's the holiday season. We can hop on here and have a conversation. But yeah, I've, there's people that I admire that says the same thing about work. And they're like, it just doesn't work out. Like we're not welcome in that industry, right? We have such a difficult time in that industry. And the better our work is, the more we become a target. Like every job that I've done, right? Like I've put my best in, or my average is better than, everyone else's average. And still I will still be devalued. And goodness gracious, it's like I don't know what we can never satisfy the narcissist. Like say if like we were slow and stupid as well, they'll still have a problem with us. If we're lazy, really lazy, they'll still have a problem with us. So yeah, we'll never satisfy them. Okay, so let's see. Nice can be absolutely fake, unfortunately, but it's good enough for most people. For sure. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, man. It's just I mean, I've had so many narcissistic managers. I mean, all of my bullies, they've been just very not bright individuals. Like I look at my adopted sister and I'm just like, wow, like you're really not that intelligent and you're supposed to be the brightest in the family and you're just not. And I'll look at these managers and it'll be so funny because they'll be doing everything in their power to try to manipulate you and they don't understand why it's not working. And then of course, what I'll do is I'll sit back and play dumb, right? And I'll just be sitting thinking to myself, like, you have no clue that I know exactly what you're doing. Like you're an idiot. Right? It says, yes, my average is still better. Yeah, and oh my God, these people, they blow my mind. They blow my mind. And then it's like, one job that I worked at, they would tell me not to come in on our busiest days. And then they would lie to me to the client. And they would lie about me to the clients. And I'm like, and it's just so funny how they all work as a collective. And, I had this patient come to me and she was like, why did you do this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I didn't do that. I didn't even come in. They're like, yes, you did. You left early. They already told me. And I'm like, that wasn't me because I didn't come in that day. But I'm like, thank you for letting me know. And she was like, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it matters. They're lying on me. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, this is what they do. I left the workforce to have children. I don't know what to suggest for men. I feel you. Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I have to do is I just got to take the power into my own hands and create something of my own. And, in the past, I just didn't know what I wanted to create. And so now I'm just going to throw myself into it. And then, what sticks, sticks. So, um, and I feel like being an empathic male, it's a different ball game, man. Cause you just piss off everyone. Like I've had narcissistic women that were mad at me and then narcissistic men as well. And, goodness gracious, everywhere you go, I'm like, great. Okay, let's see here. There seems to be two games: the control game and the free will game. Control game is lower vibration levels, so they will always seem dumb to us. Yeah, and it's it just blows my mind how a lot of people just like to be controlled. And I don't mind authority. I just believe that there's a certain boundary that you don't need to cross. And once again, this world doesn't feel this way. This world feels like if they tell you that you need to inject yourself with an experimental product that could possibly, do damage, then you better shut up and do it, right? So it's just it's this world is interesting, right? Once again, it's narcissistic abuse at the global scale. And and then for those of us that want free will, that want to hold on to our free will, our God-given free will, they want to take it away. And they definitely want to silence us, right? They don't want us talking. This hive mind as a collective still can't compete with the empath and their power with all the efforts they put in. I mean, they try though. I got to give them credit for trying. one thing about this hive and, the collective are the narcissists is they are consistent, right? And persistent. But they don't learn from the mistakes. And so they constantly fail when it comes to trying to destroy us. And they'll still keep trying. Right. And this is why you get away from them. Let's see here. Yeah, better if you can be self-resilient. Yeah. And we have to. Like this world has showed us that we just have to be, because it just keeps getting more and more toxic, right? More and more toxic. Okay, so I'm just looking. Look, it says my neighbor's teeth and hair started falling out from a job, a relatively young lady. Yeah, and this is why this is what they do. They destroy our health, right? I gain a tremendous amount of weight around these people. And so they do. And this is why when you see the abuse for what it is, leave, right? And God has always had our back. Like people always say, well, how do you just leave a job and not have another one lined up? And I'm like, well, God will provide, right? And a lot of people are bothered because I'll just stand on faith. And a lot of people are scared. A lot of people would just rather just stay. And I'm not that person. Right. Let's see here. Narcs really pick up lately that I recognize them. Boy, are they nasty. Yeah. Oh, once you start becoming aware, oh, they get so mad. They get like they're livid. Livid. It's like, how dare you? But yeah, it's crazy. Okay. They think obedience to man makes a person good, but it does not. And it doesn't. It doesn't. It's like, do what you're told. Like, we listen to Biden get up there and talk. I was watching Joseph's channel because I don't watch the news, but I was watching Joseph's channel. He played the speech from Biden. And I'm like, so your whole presidency, you're only going to talk on the vaccine issue. You're not going to do anything else. And your only solution to this problem is to get vaccinated. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, what are the long-term plans of this whole thing? There is none, right? And once again, it's just like this is all you're worried about. And oh my God, like they're dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Great topic. This channel is fantastic. Thank you. I'm telling you, every time I run into something, I'm like, okay, let me just bring it to the channel real quick. Because sometimes I can't think of what to, discuss with you all. And I'm like, okay, well, I was looking into some certain things, and everything that I want to post about will get the channel deleted. So I'm like, okay, what can we talk about? And sometimes YouTube, luckily, they'll recommend something good. And so I haven't run into many people like the young lady that we just shared on the channel. And she completely gets it. I'm like, yeah, your experience has been mine. Like we're one. Like, and you have awakened, and you did not allow those demons to break you. And they've been trying so hard, but they didn't do it. And now you're aware of them. Right. And once again, the narcs, this hive, they're so dumb because they keep attacking us. They keep targeting us. And I'm like, the more you do it, the more we're going to figure out who you are. Like, it's so crazy. Like, it is so crazy. Like, I'm like, and then it's like, why are all of you the same? Like, you're not different from the hive, right? So it's fascinating studying these creatures because they're really basic. You just look at them, you shake your head, you're like, wow, like, how are you so basic? How? All right, let's see here. Oh, so this is what you're talking about. That part. And I'm so sick of this thing. Like, I'm like, can it just go away? Like, I am so sick of it. Goodness gracious. And once again, when I look at stuff like this, because I'm all BitChute all the time looking up various rabbit holes when it comes to this thing. And it is so draining. It is so draining. I'm like, when are y'all gonna learn? Like, it's been around for a year. What? Yeah, a year now. And I'm like, so it doesn't matter how many reports that we see of people dropping like flies, getting sick, warning not to get this. It's like we're just gonna keep getting more. And oh my God, I just yeah, it's crazy. I just don't know about them. Right. I mean, I feel like some people got deceived by this thing, but I'm like, oh my God, people who are still getting it now, I'm like, then I feel like some people get it just so we could feel bad for them when something happens, right? So I just, I don't know. News is just gaslighting, yeah, and distracting. Like they're full of BS too. That's funny. I was thinking the same thing. Like it's not obvious to everyone. He only talks about, yeah. Like I'm just like that's all he talks about. And then of course they always want somebody to be. They always got to scapegoat somebody, right? So it's like this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, and it's like so we became the problem to this. Did we create this shit? It's like so why are we the problem? Right? We're minding our own business. You guys still can't get your stuff right. The people who've taken this thing, they want to do any and everything. And then when they get sick, then they want to blame it on us when we're all at home minding our own business. And then they think if they take away certain things from us, they think that we're really gonna care. I'm like, you think I care the fact that I can't go to the gym anymore? Like, oh wow, you're so bad. You think I'm mad because I can't go out to the bar and drink and sleep with whoever I want? Like, I'm like, they're just basic. They're so basic. And I'm like, and then what happens? They go on these cruise ships, they get sick, and then everybody there is inoculated. Then it's just like they're sitting there looking dumb. And then they're like, well, it must have been because a person who was in contact with somebody inoculated before they came on this ship. And that's why everybody here is sick. And I'm just like, when are y'all going to learn? when are y'all going to learn? Okay, let me see here. Oh, this channel is fantastic. I try. Yeah, the channel, I just look at it when I like listen to some of my playbacks and look at the channel as a whole. I'm like, this channel is like, it's all over the place. I love it, but I'm just like, wow. Like we talk about demons, then we talk about gang stalking, then we talk about getting your life right and connecting with God, detox. Like it's literally all over the place, but I love it. I love it for sure. Yeah, those demons in the flesh. Yeah, and it's many of them, right? It's like we are many, we are legion. I'm like, yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, listening now. Got to get on. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Cook that dinner and send me a plate. Okay, so the jab is definitely not making them smarter. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Like there's this doctor that I follow, and I've kind of been at first I used to admire the guy because he was kind of young, and it's back when I wanted to be in the medical field. And everyone that's received this thing, I'm paying close attention to them. And he's like my age. And I mean, it's some people who got in this thing, you could see a difference in their face. And some of them just look sick. It's like this background sickness when you look at their face and like look around their eyes and you see like this redness. Um, Very interesting. But yeah, we'll see what this thing does. Oh man. Oh, he has more than that. And there's still people who say that he's a great president. I'm like, where? Where y'all see that at? Like what's so great about him? Like what's so great about him? I don't see any leadership qualities in this guy. Like I don't. I'm like, we're just gonna ignore the fact that his brain is malfunctioning and that he only can focus on one thing his entire presidency. And then before that, he was blame shifting everything on Trump. And I'm not a fan of him either, you guys. I do think Trump is a great entertainer, though. He makes me laugh. I think it's because he's a Gemini. But like, what are you going to do during your presidency? What are you going to be known for? Right? Like getting everyone inoculated. Like that's it. Like that's what you're going to like. I'm like, okay. All right, man. I don't know anyone that died from this. Not even aunts, coworkers, daughters, best friend. Wait, so, you're speaking of the thing that's supposedly going around, which is radiation. Yeah, but now we all know somebody who's died from the thing, right? So, the other thing, and I'm like, it's so funny because it's like if they don't get you with one thing, they try to get you with another thing, and I'm like, this world. Like I just sit here and I think about it. And I'm like, like when you really think about all the things that the world has gone through, what it's going through now, and just the toxic people, the broken people, you're like, wow, I really live in this world. Like I really live in a world like this. This is weird, right? I'm like, I hope I didn't choose this, but Maybe I did. I don't know. It says eggs on their face lately when fully, yeah, spaces are having major. And the thing is, but they like will still blame us. It's still our fault, right? So even if they believe the narrative, I'm like, why aren't y'all mad at China, right? If y'all really believe that crap, why aren't y'all mad at them? Why are y'all mad at us? Why do I got to be the terrorist, right? Like, I was minding my own business, dealing with you guys in my daily life, all the problems that you sent my way, and still not complaining. And then you guys create this fuck shit, and then you still want to blame us? Like, I'm like, get out of here. Oh my god. And I'm like, let them have their gyms and concerts, and let them have it, right? Because they're just gonna get sick together. Like, I'll sit back and watch with some popcorn. All right. Oh, we might infect them with our healthy function immune system. Oh, and that's another thing too. There's somebody that I follow. He's also a Christian as well, and he went home to see his parents who have gotten this thing. And he said the whole time he was around them, he felt sick, and then once he got away, he started feeling better. So I'm wondering if whatever material is inside this thing, if it changes your energetic field, and then those who haven't gotten it, who are around other people who have, this is why they start getting sick, right? I don't know. It really, this thing really has divided us, right? Because it's like, it makes me like even nervous to be around a whole bunch of people who've gotten it, because I don't want to get sick. I don't know what's in that thing. All right, let me see here. All over the places but interconnected. Yeah, let's see here. All right, I love that this channel talks about everything with our perspectives about it. Yeah, like, I mean, for so many years, I would just think about the weird thoughts that would come in my head. And what I noticed when I would hang out in public and, share just little bits and pieces, everybody would get uncomfortable. And then they would stop coming around. I'm like, damn, okay, so I guess I can't talk about that either. And I'm like, I don't know. I just, I like to talk about these topics. I feel like they're important. All right, let's see here. My grown daughter just had a truly full wake up since that. Yeah. Breakout, praise God. Let's see, so many are waking up as a result. Yeah, because it's so extreme, right? Like, a lot of people will just label some of us as conspiracy theorists or delusional or crazy, and then once those things start happening to the real world, because there were some people who were mad about masks, and people are like, oh my god, you guys are overhyping the situation, there's no way that this is going to be a thing. And then we're like, see, we told you it was going to be a thing. And what a lot of people who are just now waking up, it's a beautiful thing that they're waking up, but what they forget is there's some of us who have been awake for a long time, and so this wasn't shocking to us. And now they have questions, or some of them are too scared to ask the questions, right? And then there, I have a friend who has, I believe she's gotten this thing, and now she has this, she says that she has I guess some type of neurological disorder where instead of, like, for example, let's say you're baking bread and you can smell bread, but now she smells like a disgusting smell while the bread is baking, right? And it's just with her, right? And of course, I want to reach out to her and say maybe this is a side effect to the inoculation, but of course, then it's like a political thing, and they get mad. So I'm just like, all right, well, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. You're going to realize that life before getting this thing and life after getting this thing was different. You have to put the pieces together, right? But once again, going back to your daughter, it's so good that she's woken up. And I mean, everything is so extreme now, you can't help but wake up because nothing makes sense. Everything is inverted. And the world is delusional. Okay. How do they seriously believe polluting their blood and DNA will make them healthy? Yeah, I think the whole concepts of vaccination is just pure psychopathy. I don't understand it. I mean, even if, let's just say, if these things were real and they like, it took a virus, by the way, they've never isolated viruses in the history of mankind. It's all based off of a lie. But let's just say it was real. Let's just make them feel better about themselves and say, okay, I believe you. Why would you still want to take a weakened version of that and inject it into your body? Right? And I believe the reason why they do it to kids when they're first born before we could speak is because then we would tell you all how, like say if we could talk, we could tell you all how we really feel. Right. And then so these little kids will have these diseases and they'll just be like, oh, it was genetic or they were born with it. And it's like, no, they weren't. It was introduced to them as soon as they came out of the womb. And then sometimes it's introduced to them while they're in the womb. Right. So they have you take shots while you're in the womb too. And it's just, once again, it's psychopathy, because once you realize that these things are really destroying the immune system and everybody has to get them, you're like, okay, who created this? Why did they create this? I'm like, obviously, like demons from the pit of hell, right? And it's because we live in a Luciferian world, right? So very, very interesting. It says they can't convince me he is real. Oh, with Biden, yeah. He's a robot. Something's very strange about that guy. And then even when Obama was in office, you would always look at Biden and he would just look like he was so proud. He would just like, I'm just like, every picture, you'll be like, and this is what narcs do, especially covert narcs, right? And you're just like, what is wrong with this guy? But yeah. And I'm like, look at how his kids turned out. Obviously, something's wrong with them, right? You can't be a healthy person and all your kids come out fucked up, right? So it's just weird. I had 2 ex-narcs pass from it, both fat, diabetic, and poor health. Yeah, and I feel like the worse your immune system is, it's kind of twofold. It's like the worse your immune system is, the quicker you will die from it. But if your immune system is really great, then you will die from it as well. Like I feel like a lot of these athletic men and young men, the reason why they're having heart inflammation and heart attacks is because their blood flow is good, right? It's very good. And so like imagine you just got a whole bunch of micro razors injecting into you, and then it's just going through tearing up your immune system the more active you are. And I think this is why young men are getting sick from it, and athletic men. And once again, it's like they air it. People drop in on the football field, on the soccer field, and then people like, it's like everyone's shocked for like 2.5 seconds and then they forget about it. And you'll have people at these injection sites and they'll inject somebody, the person will start spazzing out, and then they'll go to try to give them CPR and lift their legs up. And I'm like, why don't you just stop giving the injection? And then you'll still see people standing in line. If I saw that, I would walk out of the line. Like, but I it's like they're under some type of trance, or we're here with a whole bunch of NPCs, right? And I'll probably do another video on NPCs, but that phenomenon is crazy as well. But I don't understand. You could literally be in line for something, you see somebody pass out from it, and you'll still stay in line. Like I don't understand. Okay, let's see here. It says, "Oh, good grief, Biden has nothing to offer before dementia sets in. Never mind." Yeah, it's already there. Like it's like maybe that's why they wanted us to hate Trump so bad, so that we will just accept anything that came after him. But and speaking of intelligence, right? So like at least the presidents of my lifetime haven't really been that intelligent. Like so, I'm thinking we had Bush Sr. I didn't really know him because I was a baby. Then we had Clinton, and obviously, I think he was really great at creating the appearance. Like I think he was a great actor. Actually, what's funny? I think out of all the presidents in my lifetime, it'll probably be a tie between Obama and Trump when it came to intellect. But I think Obama is just a great actor as well. I actually think Trump is actually smarter than Obama. But who do you all think? Which president do you all think is smart, within our lifetime, within the last few decades? But definitely not Bush Jr. and definitely not Biden. Those two are at the bottom of the totem pole. They're kind of tied with stupidity. Like, oh my God. Okay, so let's see here. Oh my God. What's funny that you say that? It sounds bad, but I'm like waiting too. I'm like, because I already know one of them that got it. And I'm waiting. I hope nothing bad happens to her, but I'm just waiting, and this thing has been out for like a year. I don't know. And they just keep giving more and more out. Okay, so y'all messed up. You messed up for that one, but I had the same thought with my neighbor downstairs. I'm like, oh, hopefully she got it because I'm ready for her to be gone. I'm messed up, Lord. Please forgive me. Oh man, she's evil. She is so evil. Let me see here. They can bond over their hatred and sickness and death. Yeah, but the thing is, as they're dying, they're going to blame us, and then they're going to be mad at us because we chose not to get this thing, and it's our fault. And, and everything is just our fault. I'm like, okay. But a lot of people have gotten this thing too. I didn't realize how many have, and you know, it's very interesting. But people just assume that I got it, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, just keep making that assumption. Like, just keep making it. Okay, so let's see here. We have to social distance. Yeah, no, I really do think so. And then, like, even my love life is basically dead, and I think it's going to stay dead. I'm just going to bury it, right? Because I'm not getting down with anybody, like, because I don't want that in my body. Like, I'm like, I'm like, yeah, yeah. I think there are some people in the Bible who are like celibate, right? So I'm just like, okay, well, I guess like that'll be my new life. But yeah, it's just weird because you literally don't know what's in this thing. Okay, so yeah, and I don't like I really do think that is changing people. And I noticed like a few people that I follow, they're in the medical field. Once they got it, it was two males and they like dyed their it was three males actually. They dyed their hair like these weird colors. One was like green, another one was like pink, blue. And they'll start doing all these weird, strange TikTok videos too afterwards. I'm like, what is it doing? And these are like anesthesiologists, right? That I'm following. And then I followed another doctor. She just got her booster, and prior to that, I don't believe that the healthcare workers were getting the same thing that everybody else was. So I think she was good for the first two, but she was pregnant and she lost her baby. There's another one who can't get pregnant. And it's just so funny to watch people not making the connection. I'm like, oh, and I don't want to be like in the comments, everybody's like sorry for your loss. And I don't want to be like, hey, like, have you thought of there being a possible connection with the inoculation? Um, but they like live and breathe the industry. Like health is like their Lord and Savior, right? Well, allopathic medicine is. And I'm like, I just want you guys to make the connection, right? But a lot of people are refusing to make the connection. Those of us who have made the connection, we're a problem. Okay, so they have good blood circulation. Blood donation shortage. Yeah, and they only want jab donations. Yeah, and that's disgusting as well, right? So it's just like we really have to stay out of the hospitals. Really, really, really do. I want to say California was like first to approve having inoculated blood donations. And then it's like, what are they doing with that blood? I don't even think they're giving it to patients, right? They must be doing something else with it. Right. I kind of regret giving out my blood when I was younger, but yeah, it's weird. Oh man, it's like we can't get away from these people. Um, no, people want small talk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is why they don't like having deep conversations. But deep conversations are important because it makes you more aware, right? So like my stance on everything that's going on now, people would have thought I was crazy, years ago. But then when this whole thing went down, I already knew. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I already know what this is about. I'm not taking anything that you offering. And and then these people who fail to look into these different rabbit holes, they're the first in line, right? There's another huge content creator. He claims that he caught the what, and he said he caught it at a concert, going to a Drake and Kanye West concert. And he was like, wow, the jab didn't even save me. And I'm like, the jab is what's making you sick, bro. Okay, let me see. I think they are. Yeah, I think that they are taking time bombs. I just oh man, I just wonder, yeah. Uh it's like when you think about it, it really is a tragedy to think about. Like I just don't want to think about it. And then watching that material move the way that it moves, and the way that it connects and expands, and the microorganisms in it that aren't even like organic, like it's mind blowing. You guys need to go on BitChute and start looking at that stuff. Okay, let me see here. I've seen people on social media break out in horrendous, well, it's rashes. Oh yeah, yeah. I look at this crap every day, one I think I showed on the channel was like rotting flesh. And once again, I don't think everybody's getting the same thing, but they say 90% of them does have the graphene in it. So, very interesting. Okay, so and then it's like, what does that do, right? Someone said it's not about that. Yeah, just mandating it. I think there's a quota, right? I really do think that they're feeding something demonic, and there's a quota that they have to hit, which is why they keep pushing it. And somebody made the correlation to this in 1917, and then they say that back in the late 1800s they did the same thing, right? So some type of ritual. But yes, it's disgusting for sure. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because the shields actually don't officially even protect others. Yeah, nothing about it makes sense, and that's how you know they're being very deceptive. And this is the same crap that the narcissist does. Nothing that they do makes sense, but they just want you to listen to them. And yeah, there's so many loopholes. It's like you have to lie to yourself to believe this, everything that's going on, because it's always changing, right? Always changing, variant after variant. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah. And bleeding, that was the first symptoms that I noticed, right? It was women in their menstruations, and even being around other women who have gotten this thing, then they would start having these abnormal periods. And once again, that was the first thing. And I was like, and I remember sharing it to a friend. I'm like, don't get this thing. Don't get it. Don't get it. Don't get it. And then she went ahead and got it anyway. And I'm like, why? Why can't you just wait? But people just want to go, they're hoping that things will go back to normal. And I'm like, but you're sacrificing yourself. You're playing Russian roulette, right? And once again, it's just like, they won't even tell us what's in this thing. Okay. I'm just looking. It says they're in for a rude awakening. Eventually, they'll realize the sense of security was a lie. Yeah, and I think it's going to be too late. And then, part of me is like, will they ever wake up? Right? Because if this has been done before and we weren't warned about it, maybe society just won't wake up. And then this will just be repeated again in the future if this isn't the end goal, right? So that's also very interesting. Let's see. Oh, you want to be invited to our wedding? I'm trying to think. How did that conversation come up again? I forgot how that conversation came up again, but that was funny. Remind me. There's something that the law is doing where they're trying to where they're talking about marriage, but let me see here. Yep, I'm pretty much locking myself down to avoid the super spreaders. Yeah, and I feel like it's important for all of us to do that because once again, there's been people that I've listened to that have said they've had like severe illness just by being around someone who's gotten it. And I think there's like a period of like 6 weeks where you really want to stay away, then it kind of like dies off after that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I definitely don't want it. It says, do your research and let the Holy Spirit guide you. The Holy Spirit will lead you to truth. I believe that, right? And that's why some of us like we'll know the truth before we even read it, right? Right. So I was always bringing in the fifth generation component, and then now I found proof. So, and this was before I just knew, right? So, that thing, this part. Oh man. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. I'm like, hopefully it tastes good. It's sick. Like it's just this world is sick, man. And once again, I think, I there's so many things that we don't know about this world, but I think if we truly knew everything, we'll just like have a heart attack and die. Like I just don't think we could handle it. Because there's some stuff that there's some rabbit holes that I can't even go down. Okay, so yeah, it's weird, man. Okay, so they're telling you what they were doing. The Christmas tree burned down was another ritual. They did just show you that what they are doing. Bill Gates in 2010 said it was coming. Yeah, something's coming for sure. Like I think all of us are kind of in for a rude awakening. Some of us are just sitting back waiting. We're like, okay, when is it coming? Right? Are we going to see something this year, or are we going to see something in the top of next year? But I do think something is coming very soon. Yeah, stay away. Stay away from the hospitals if you can. Honestly, never been on BitChute. You're definitely making me curious. Yeah, go on there. You'll see a lot of stuff. Don't read the comments in BitChute. They're horrible, but some of the information that you'll find is pretty good. Pretty disturbing, actually, but I think we all have to force ourselves to look at stuff that we normally would not look at. People think that if they comply with the jab, they will have their lives back. That ship has sailed. Yeah, it sailed a long time ago. It's sailed and sank. All right, coming back. Let me see here and said it ain't coming back. Also prepping. Yeah. I think, honestly, I think that's what all of us have to do. But yeah, it's this world. You got the baking soda. It works, you guys. Like it does. Okay, let me see here. What kind of job you get probably depends on your social credit score. Yeah, mine is probably at a negative 100. And then you think about the social credit system. It's like, okay, well, what infrastructure needs to be set into place for it to happen? And so is this why we have fifth generation technology? And I don't want to live in a world like that. I'm like, Lord, can you just take me? Like, I don't want to live in a world where I'm walking around with like a digital score and there's things that I can't even do because of the score that I have. It's just like the ultimate form of slavery. And that's just, it's like this world hates us so bad that they want to control everything that we do, that they want to take away everything from us. And they will just want to tie us into this beast system. And they just want us miserable. And then they want to tie us into artificial intelligence. And it's I'm just like, why? Okay, just looking. Oh yeah, and these things, right? Yeah, and once again, it's like those stones have never been tarnished, and it's like, why are they still up if it's such a lie? And I think that's this whole thing going on now is a part of the part of the plan. I'm like thinking about I'm like, how does Days of Noah and KJ, who are content creators, how do they stay on for so long? Like after 2 hours, I'm like, oh, okay, let me see here. All right, just looking through some of these comments. Hey, Eric, how are you? Yeah. And then normal was bad anyway. I'm like, well, what was normal? Normal was never good for me. Okay, just checking through some of these comments, you guys. Yeah, I can remember. Oh, because of the date. That's why she brought it up. Yeah, I still need my baby so we can cross the border and get 250K. I think it's all a lie anyway, but it's funny how they're saying that these people are getting all this money just from crossing the border. Okay, I'm going to Starbucks, Crusade, buddies, even grab. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, you'll probably be up all night. All right. Let me know if you all have any questions, or you want to get off of here. For those of you who just joined, what we did was we kind of talked about, I shared another content creators videos on king stalking and linking that to spiritual warfare. This is something that we talk a lot about on this channel, but I wanted to go ahead and give you another content creator's perspective, so you're not just listening to me 24/7. But yeah, I think that's all that we can do right now. I'm kind of like, what's funny is it's like, okay, so it's like raining over here, so it's dark, and I'm like highly caffeinated, but like delirious at the same time. Because it doesn't really rain here in LA, but it's raining. But yeah, so I think we'll just go ahead and get off of here. I'll probably try to pop up again because I'm like, okay, now that we paid for the month for StreamYard, I definitely want to make sure that I go over 20 hours a month. Like I have to, or there was no point. So for those of you who have topics that you want me to discuss on the channel, just go ahead and shoot me an email or drop a comment. You know, I love talking about fringe topics and really expanding our horizon, right? I want to do the black eye baby phenomenon. I think that's interesting too. Um, and then what else did I have in store for you all? I gotta find a creative way to bring the inoculation stuff on the channel without getting deleted, but we'll see. And happy holidays to all of you. Remember, have a drink for me, have a plate for me. I'll probably be sipping on a glass of eggnog. But yeah, so everyone take care. Hey, God bless. It's nice to see all of you in the chat. All right, have a great day. Bye.